Hello, and welcome to Weed and Grub.
Is it fair to say that, like, you know how dudes have to, like, adjust their nuts?
Yeah,
Do women have to adjust their breasts?
all the time.
So it's like...
Don't you catch me doing it sometimes? You don't see me doing this?
Oh, yeah. And so it's like, it's just where things hang, but the hanging,
Yeah.
like, whatever hangs needs a fixin'.
Yeah, if you have a pendulous body part, it needs to be shifted sometimes.
What does pendulous mean?
Hanging, weighted, heavy, like a pendulum. Pendulous.
Oh.
Pendere means to hang
Really?
in Latin.
Ooh, so if you've got, like... Yeah, I mean, we could make all the jokes, but, like, pendarium?
Pendere is the Latin verb to hang.
To hang. Mm-hmm. Oh, so a pendulum is a bunch of hangs.
A pendulum is one thing hanging.
Can you speak Latin?
I know some basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know I had pendulums in my ball sack.
In your basketball shorts?
Pendule.
Pendule?
You have like a pendule chest?
Pendulous?
Yo, I mean, I'm just trying to fill my brain with new facts every day. That's what this is about.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
Happy Weed and Grub, everyone.
Happy Weed and Grub. It's a Weed and Grub day?
Yeah. What's the date? Today's Weed and Grub day.
To wait is Weed and Wub day.
Are you from Princess Bride?
Marriage. Twoo wub. Today is day 14 for me of being on the whole 30.
Congrats.
I mean, not really.
I don't know. The halfway part is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's
That's
close.
Very cool.
I'm getting close. It's the closest that I've been to halfway since I started the whole thing.
Yeah, you can't get to halfway until you start.
I'm as close to halfway as I've ever been in the past 2 weeks.
That's like when we were talking about...
Time is linear, you know.
We were talking about sayings when we were walking, and I was like, what is a gift horse?
Yeah.
And we like really broke down like first drafts of old sayings. Because I was like, because at first I thought a gift horse is what you used to get a loved one instead of a car for their birthday.
Oh, like a horse with a bow on it?
A horse with a big bow.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
you like walk out of the cabin and you see a new horse for
And
yourself.
she's like, oh my God, Trevor, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, that must be where the gift horse comes from. But like, why not look it in the mouth? It's beyond me.
Right, because horses bite.
Yeah.
But no, the saying comes from the Trojan horse, which was used to win the Trojan War by being wheeled up to the walls of Troy. And it was, or was it the walls of Troy, or was it full of Trojan soldiers? However it went. Anyway, it was a gift
Yeah.
to the city of Troy.
Yeah.
And it was full. Wait,
It was full of Trojan soldiers. I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was filled with Trojan soldiers, and it was a gift, and they wheeled it in. And then the soldiers came out of the horse and killed everybody
Out of
and
its
took
mouth.
over. Right.
Right.
So then definitely look a gift horse in the mouth. If there's soldiers inside that horse, you need to look inside it.
So I'm actually looking up what it really comes from. And we
Okay.
did think as we were walking along Melrose today
Yeah.
that it was the Trojan horse that had soldiers inside it. So you should look a gift horse in the mouth because then you would discover the plot to like take over your city.
Yes.
But according to Wiktionary, never look a gift horse in the mouth comes from since horses teeth change over time, inspecting their teeth is a way of gauging age. However, doing such a check would be a sign of mistrust towards the giver. So say you're giving me a horse and I'm like, let me check its teeth. You're like, I'm out here giving you a fucking free horse. What are you doing, like kicking the tires?
Beggars can't be choosers.
So rude.
Wow.
So it's a sign of rudeness towards a gift giver.
I see.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
It's like if you're looking for the price tag
Yeah.
on some fancy thing that I'm giving you for your anniversary of something.
Exactly.
That's what it means.
Yes.
Oh.
And we've got it. Okay. So
Cool.
nothing to do with the Trojan War. Actually, it was about looking in a horse's mouth.
Well, that's what this podcast is about if you're joining us for the first time. Weed and Grub is usually about comedy, cannabis, culture, and calling shit out. But today...
It's about gift horses.
Gift horses.
And learning.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of origin stories, and to learn the gift horse one is kind of a fun treat.
Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. And I really do love like all of that sort of learning the etymology of anything, where anything comes from, like why measurements are a certain size, going all the way back to Roman times, like the fact that railroads are a certain width because of the way that roads were built in the Roman Empire.
That's fascinating.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's
Cool.
neat. Everything goes back to something.
It does.
Yeah.
I always think about, it's an old premise for me, but the first person to put 2 lines on the ground and call it a parking space is so, I can't find any information on the history of the parking space, but I just have to imagine that it was just horse chaos everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
And then you were like, fuck that. I'm just going to put 2 lines down and that's my horse's place. And everybody started like plotting. It's all about like claiming land. I feel like the most basic human instinct is wanting to claim land, whether that's real land or whether that's a house or whatever it is. You're just claiming what's yours.
Yeah.
And yeah, lines on the ground, stake your claim.
Claiming space. That's so interesting. It makes me think of like the chaos that must have ruled for however long it took for horses and cars to sort of, like the era of the horse then being replaced by the era of the automobile. But for a time they coexisted, and what a fucking mess it must have been.
Oh my God.
And how that all shook out. And the fact that we've got to be coming up on another one of those pretty soon. I mean, there's a new era coming where there will be non-car transportation that will be jockeying for position. Maybe they're hoverboards, maybe they're flying cars or jetpacks or whatever it is, but there's going to be another time where people are like, get your old-timey weird car out of my space where I'm going to put my rocket ship.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
That's interesting to think that because the land has been so claimed and ravaged by 7 billion people on this goddamn planet, that airspace is next. Like we're going to be jockeying for air land.
Air rights.
Air rights.
Yeah.
Damn. So it is going to be like everybody has Teslas, but by then the people who had Teslas are going to be having, I don't know, like you said, rocket ships.
Yeah.
And they're fighting for rocket land.
Yeah.
Rocket space.
Yeah, you're going to have like your little landing pad outside your high-rise apartment, and there'll have to be like weird permits that only you can afford because you're so ridiculously rich that you actually get to live above the smog line while the rest of us are down here with like nose filters parking our old-fashioned fucking cars that still run on gas.
Oof.
Oof.
All right. Well,
Dystopian.
TM. Yeah. Sci-fi pitch. Where are the birds going to go?
The bird scooters?
I feel like birds are gonna
animals?
I like the idea of like bird scooter becoming so successful that it's bird rockets. That's fucking cool. And you just still scan a Q code or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And you can take a quick rocket to Target and back for like $2.
Oh, nice.
That sounds fine.
I like that concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket pool. How fun will that be?
I mean,
Because if you take
I don't want the middle seat.
Well, on a rocket, of course.
No.
It's gonna be so warm.
Yeah. And that G-force is gonna like flatten your face out in a weird way too. You're just gonna need a window to lean on when you're like.
Can you imagine being hammered on a rocket after a night out? Oh shit!
No.
Wait, are you picturing the rocket? I'm picturing us sitting on the outside of them like Wile E. Coyote. Are you thinking we're inside the rockets when we're talking about these things?
Yes.
Okay, so okay.
Wait, how would you be outside a rocket?
I don't know, it's
You would
seatbelts and shit.
explode. Definitely inside the rocket.
Yeah, I can't be compressed. I can't be squeezed.
Yeah.
I can't have anything too tight.
That's
around
why
me
you're
at
on the
all.
outside of the rocket.
That's so funny.
Be like, yeah, Mike just likes to ride on the outside. He'll be fine.
You're so right.
He took a couple of edibles. He'll be cool. Here's a helmet, Mike.
Fucking helmet's gonna do.
Nothing.
Just catch my brain so no one has to clean it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a horse over a car any day.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you like riding horses?
I've only ridden a couple of times and we haven't worked together yet, but I'm hoping to find a horse that works with me and I work with it.
Were you like, was the horse against you?
It just loves to eat more than it wants to ride. And
Oh.
I'm like, I can relate to you, but I
Yeah.
also want to be a part of this like trek, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You were like just on trail rides or whatever?
Yeah, I feel like the person who was working the trail ride sized me up, and they were like, well, he looks pretty high. We're gonna give him the horse that just wants to hang out in nature.
Yeah, they gave you the slow one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So, do you want to get to some news of the week? Speaking of weed,
Oh, yeah. Hell yes, I do. Our news of the week moment is about how legalizing medical marijuana makes people have more sex. A study shows. So there's a story on marijuanamoment.net, and it's according to a study that came out of the University of Connecticut and Georgia State University. The University of Connecticut and Georgia State University. It's bookended by universities. Very important study.
Whoa.
And it says that medical marijuana laws cause an increase in sexual activity. So to determine how the laws influence how often people are boning, the team of researchers analyzed a large data set from between 1997 and 2011.
Oh.
And so places with medical cannabis are having more sex. They are also using less contraception, evidently.
Okay.
So I guess the lesson is that if you are getting high and having a good time, just wrap it up.
Maybe, but I also feel like, yes, wrap it up, but I also feel like they're not taking into the variable of having the STD discussion.
Okay.
Which I feel like is a discussion that everyone should and hopefully is having in most situations.
In advance of having sex.
In advance of having sex. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's a little skewed because I've been with partners and one of us always brings it up right away and it's like, what's your deal? And it's like, this. What's your deal? This. And it's like, cool, great. No judgment either way. Thank you for being honest. Mm-hmm. So I'll just say.
I think so much of the modern conversation around sex nowadays with like a new or prospective partner is like you share your test results right away. Everyone gets tested. Often, safer sex is there's no shame in practicing it and having obviously there's no shame in practicing it, but there's also no shame in getting tested often and sharing your results right out front.
Yeah.
Exactly. And using contraception too, but still letting someone know, like, I've been tested and, here's what I am dealing with or not dealing with.
Totally.
Yeah.
My perfect third date for something like this, if weed is involved and I know there's going to be sex and I can be a part of this study, it's like, have you ever done the thing where you order Postmates and it's going to take an hour and then you smoke weed and then you fuck and then you smoke more weed and then Postmates arrives?
Wow.
It's perfect.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a dream hour. Because, in the age of convenience, why not make your convenience magical?
Wow.
It's pretty great.
That is pretty great.
So, yeah.
So legalizing medical marijuana makes people have more sex and order more Postmates.
That's the asterisk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really funny.
Cool.
That's some good news.
Yeah, that is good news.
Yeah, I hope the sex is good. I think that's the next layer to this study.
Yeah.
How good is that high sex?
Well, I think the great thing about weed is that it makes me a more present partner. So it's always going to be better when you're sort of like in the moment more and you're paying attention to obviously not only your own body, but the person that you're with.
Yeah. And then you're choosing the right music.
Yeah.
Right?
Listening to their breath a little better, feeling how your skin feels against them a little more.
Eyelashes grazing each other's.
Oh, that's the nicest.
Yes.
You know what I really like doing sometimes is just breathing with someone. And I know it sounds kind of hokey, but it's really lovely and helps me connect really, really well.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
That cycle. Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm horny. Amazing. What a great up so far.
We have a great guest today.
Yeah, we do. A special person that you brought into my life, actually. Oh, well, before we get to them, can we read some Buds of the Week reviews that we just got?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do some Buds of the Week reviews.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first. Coolio1729 says, Weed and Grub is a fantastic podcast. Funny, entertaining, insightful, informative, reflective, and goofy are just a few adjectives I would attribute to this show. If you enjoy listening to cannabis and food discussions, then try this podcast. It is terrific.
That's awesome.
That's so nice. Thanks, Coolio1729.
Mine I wanted to read is actually an iTunes review from Introvert Advantage. And it says, keeps me entertained. This podcast has provided me with so many laughs and lots of knowledge about so many different things I never knew I wanted to know. Listening to how genuine their friendship is very heartwarming and makes a solo smoke sesh that much more enjoyable. Their dynamic reminds me a lot of me and one of my best friends. I would be Mike, hell yeah. And she would be MJ. I'm very proud to say that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Man.
What would your post-sex Postmates order be?
What do you mean?
If you weren't on Whole30.
Well, didn't I order Postmates before I had sex?
In
your world?
Your pre-Postmate, post-sex Postmates order.
No, my pre-sex Postmates order. Wait, pre-sex
Postmates order.
Right.
Yeah. No, you were right.
Okay.
So what I did was I created a cul-de-sac where there was a road. Cool.
Wait, so the idea is that I've smoked a joint. I know I'm going to have sex. I order Postmates.
You order Postmates, you smoke a joint,
Yep.
You have sex, you smoke again because you came.
Okay.
And by then Postmates is here.
Ramen.
Yo! Wow.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Salty, slurpy noodles in just a gorgeous broth with that piece of pork belly and the egg and just all the goodness.
It's really lush.
Yeah. And it's good, like, you can have, it's not something that, like, ramen can arrive and you can eat, number one, you can kind of eat it naked. Like I love like eating a little, soupy kind of slurp when I'm naked. And then also you can like slurp on the broth and then leave the rest to chill out a little bit and then kind of eat it. Not cold. I don't like it in the fridge cold, but when the noodles cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bite for a little while.
Such a underrated stoned food. But what a perfect go-to meal.
What's yours?
Well, I was going to be basic and say something like a variety of tacos.
Oh.
Instead of like 2 chicken or 2 steak or something, just like, a taco buffet of like 5 different ones. You have your shrimp, you have your jackfruit and all of that. But now that you said ramen, I wish I had thought of it. I really do. I think ramen is, man, it's an anytime treat. And over pho too. Like if I were to rank slurps, I feel like pho would fall beneath the ramen.
Definitely. I mean, ramen's just fattier, Pho has always felt like a healthy choice to me. And after fucking, I don't want to. After fucking, oh no, we're gonna okay.
Get it, hit it.
Nope.
Knock it out of the park.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Shall we get to our guest?
Let's get to our guest.
Okay, so this week, oh man, so Kaitlin Parry, aka Shoot People, is an incredible photographer, videographer, all-around human, artistic soul, beautiful spirit who I met when I was working in New York and she was a photographer out here in LA, and I came out to do a photo shoot for the magazine, and she shot Kenny Beats.
Wow.
When he was with Loud Pack, Kenny and Ryan as Loud Pack the duo, and she'd also photographed Ty Dolla $ign and Chelsea Wolfe. She was on tour with Miguel and Grizz, and she's just traveled the world like documenting music from behind the scenes, and she's also just now here on the ground. She's shot your show.
She shot Glaze. She shot us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, she's just a friend and a really cool hang, and she also smokes hella weed, and she's just a really neat person. So yeah, we hung out with Kaitlin, and here's our conversation with her.
Magical butter.
Magical butter.
How much fun is that?
Magical butter is the best machine for making all of your edibles at home.
Let me ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
Can I make infused chocolates?
Yes.
Gummies?
Yes.
Tinctures?
Yes.
Oils?
Yes.
Butter?
That was 5. And yes, and you can buy magical ghee from magicalbutter.com, and that's Whole30 approved and compliant, so you can use your own ghee and then still be on your Whole30 diet.
Ooh, that sounds... I'm actually thinking about doing Whole30 again.
Well, you should get your magical butter machine and get that ghee going.
Get that ghee going.
Get that ghee going. Magicalbutter.com. Use promo code Weed and Grub at checkout for 20% off.
And check out their Instagram because it is the sexiest food pics I've ever seen. So go to at Magical Butter and peep it, follow it, like it, fave it, comment.
Lick it, like it, love it. They're good vibes all day. Good people doing good things. Magicalbutter.com. Use the promo code Weed and Grub at checkout. Give them a follow and make your own edibles at home, man.
Why
You'll know
not?
what goes into them, and you'll feel so good.
Yeah, that should be their tagline.
Yeah.
Magical Butter.
You know what goes into it, and then you feel good. Magicalbutter.com. Promo code Weed and Grub at checkout will get you 20% off.
What up, Mary Jane?
How's it going, Mike?
I'm thrilled by today's guest.
We have one of my favorite people in all the world here with us. Hi,
Look-
Kaitlin.
Hi.
What's up, Kaitlin?
Hey guys.
Do you mind just giving everyone the rundown on who you are and what you're about and, I don't know, like what your mantra is?
Yeah, my name is Kaitlin Parry. I guess you guys already said that. And I'm a photographer, and I shoot sometimes under the moniker Shoot People. And my mantra is just, I guess, have fun in life always.
Yeah.
Good mantra?
You
Yeah.
show that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to turn my table so we can all look at each other. I
let's
feel like
do
I'm
that.
looking at Mary Jane.
I'm going to move my
She's
mic
so
around,
beautiful
too.
to look at, though.
Oh, thank you.
You've taken some great photos of Mary Jane.
I love Mary Jane.
Oh, I love you.
She's
Hi.
a beautiful, powerful woman, and I've learned so much from her through the years.
Oh, my God.
What do you mean? How long have you all known each other?
5 years now?
Yeah, we met in 2014 when I flew out to Los Angeles to do a feature for High Times on Loud Pack, who was Kenny Beats.
Oh, shit.
The famous Kenny Beats.
Whoa,
who
Kenny?
Kaitlin- yeah,
Yeah.
Kenny. Kaitlin shot Kenny and Ryan, who was the other half of Loud Pack. And that's how we met.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
We actually went to high school together. How crazy is that?
You and Woe Kenny? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you really?
Yeah. You did.
I'm just such a fan of him.
He's such a nice guy.
Wow. I want to see those photos.
They were awesome. It was so cool because I flew into LA knowing that I was going to write this feature on Loud Pack, and Kaitlin at that point you'd shot Ty Dolla Sign?
Ty Dolla Sign, which I worked on with you, but we were email. And then Grizz, I think, was my first, which was crazy because I was on tour with him at the time.
That was so neat.
Yeah.
He's such a cool dude.
He's one of the best guys I've ever come across.
Oh, man. And you'd been on tour with him. You shot him for High Times. You shot Ty Dolla, and then you shot Chelsea Wolfe, too.
Yeah, who also amazing.
Yeah, those photos of her were so
amazing.
Iconic.
And there was a couple other people who are escaping me, which is so horrible.
Well, I mean, you shot everyone in the industry.
Well,
I
thank
feel
you.
like. And, I mean, we worked together on some cool stuff, but you've also, like,
we have
photographed so many incredible people in Weed and Beyond and music.
Well, thank you.
But that first photo shoot when we met was great because we just went to the loft, like Kenny and Ryan had like this cool downtown loft, and we showed up, and it was actually great because they were prepared to go hard with High Times.
Yeah.
So I I don't dab, and I don't really even like to smoke that much when I'm interviewing someone, especially, like when I have to write about it. And then Kaitlin was working as well, but they had set up like all these rigs, and they had all this shatter to show off, and they just like wanted to dab, and we were like,
No way.
They were great though. So they got super baked, and then Kaitlin got some great pics.
Which that's my favorite. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned is working for High Times and all the other weed photos shoots that I do is you really have to prepare people like, okay, don't inhale. Even if you do inhale, you're going to get super high because you're going to take huge puffs for like 2 hours. And you can always, I love looking at the photo shoots because you can just see the evolution of them getting really high.
Like their smiles get bigger and their eyes get smaller.
Yeah, and redder and like goofier, and like sometimes they even come out more, like of their shell or whatever.
Yeah.
So where's the sweet spot? Is it like do you like somebody like Snoop? I feel like every photo he's high, so it's like whatever. But when you're working with someone, how do you get them where you need them to be?
Depends on the person, right? Like they could be, Kenny and Ryan could be really high and not look high.
Yeah, Kenny and Ryan were like excited to be super fucking baked, especially for that shoot. It was a point of pride that they wanted to get like soaring high and then have that captured. And it was great. The pictures of them with like, the tiny eyes in their apartment.
Laughing like,
You were the first photographer that I had ever worked with because I was new to working as an editor for the entertainment section. And you were the first photographer that I saw who was capturing the smoke in the way that you did, like however it was that your setup was. I think it was all in your studio, right?
They were in their loft, but I brought lights.
But when you did Chelsea Wolfe
and
that was
Ty
all
Dolla
my
Sign,
studio. Like that's such an iconic shot of Ty with that smoke wreathing up past his neck tattoo and then like up into his
Thank
face.
you.
It was like a French inhale. Have you seen it?
Yes.
We'll post it
It's
when we post this
fucking
episode.
powerful.
It's the
Thanks,
sexiest
guys.
because he's a sexy man.
He's really sexy.
And that shot is just like, okay.
He is sexy.
Slide out of your seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just blushed thinking about it.
You are. You're
I'm
so
like,
red.
my cheeks are hot. But like, you were the first person that I had seen who was capturing that sort of like smoke portrait. That was
Awesome.
so neat.
Awesome.
Did you
Thanks,
remember
guys.
how you came up with it?
I like as you were saying that, I was thinking about why is it that I love to capture smoke the way that I do, and I really think it comes from working in raves and like there is nothing but smoke. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's such a beautiful way. Like it's a texture that captures light and reflects it back to you in a really unique, interesting way. And I love textures and I love light.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you started? Was raves?
Yeah. Basically.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, I was.
Fuck, that's cool.
I
You have a
was-
cool life.
Thanks, Mike. I brought my camera. I would rave all the time, and I bring my camera with me. That's really where everything started.
You're such a what are you? Like
Shadow?
A shadow, or I mean, for instance, like when you just shot Glazed, Mike's show, and you captured that sideshow artist Reggie Bougmancher,
Yes.
and she was performing like on a tiny stage surrounded by people, and I didn't see you up there, and somehow you got a front row picture of her from just like inches away of doing the craziest trick
Yeah.
or stunt.
Circus sideshow act.
Circus
she
side,
was,
yeah.
just for context to talk about your sleuthiness, like
Yeah.
Reggie puts a funnel, like a beer bong funnel, up her nose and out her mouth, and then hands a glass to an audience member, and they put the funnel in the glass, and she pours a shot through the funnel. It goes up her nasal cavity, down her throat, and out her mouth into the glass, and it's like a real body shot. It's a literal body shot. It comes through her skull.
Yeah.
And you got an amazing photo of it.
Thanks, guys.
And when
Thank you.
I saw it after, because I saw the show and I was like, I didn't see you, and I know you, and I know your big camera, and I was like, where was she? How did that happen? Were you in the rafters? Like, you must have learned some amazing way of being sort of just part of everything when you were at those raves.
Well, it's such a huge compliment because I never want to be seen, essentially.
Huh.
At shows or at any, events or anything. I just want to be, I don't want to be seen.
Why?
Because it's not my job to be seen.
What?
Right? Like,
I don't know. I've seen some photographers, and you're so aware of them working, like putting in the work, where it's like, oh, they're working so hard because I'm so aware of them. But maybe that's not a good thing.
well, I think everyone has their own way of working in their own style. For me, I'd rather, like, no one see me, no audience member, not even the artist know I'm there, because then I get the real photos.
And that's why artists like Grizz love you going on tour with them. Because you become part of
thank you.
the whole team, right? Like,
Well, that team is just an exceptional team.
and Miguel, you toured with Miguel.
I toured with Miguel. That was also exceptional people on that tour as well.
Can I tell you something about Miguel? I just saw him live in Vegas with my
Yeah.
friend Joel Hadley, and they booked him as the sun was going down.
Oh, wow.
And it was like dry hump
Yeah.
city. It
He's
was
sexy.
right. It was
Yeah.
like perfect sunset music.
Yeah. His music is really sexy.
Yeah.
I just
And
pictured
women
you.
love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's just so amazing, like the power of people's music, right?
Yeah, he was on stage and just every butt was grinding into every crotch.
Success.
Success.
That's success.
I just pictured you like grinding on like a pylon or something.
Yeah, just looking around, I need something. Yeah, with the sun going down behind Vegas. Yeah.
And he's a good dancer too. Like he's a
Yeah.
really good dancer, which I think adds the whole performance really nicely.
Can I ask about the project that you did in Greece when we met? Like right after we met, you went to Greece for a while, and I feel like
Yeah.
you were there doing a big
I
photography project,
I
right?
shot the refugees in Mytilene. And part of it is I have to shout out my cousin because she works for Save the Children. So she really helped me with the access there. And that was more, I wanted to know what was happening. For people who don't know, I'm Greek, from Greek heritage, Greek citizen. And, this was a huge thing that was happening in Greece. So I really wanted to see it. I think it's really important as humans that we really see the worst of what's happening so we can really understand it.
I don't. Can you keep talking about it? Because I don't know anything.
Yeah, it was the Syrian war. So it was fascinating, the things I learned. Majority of the people in these Syrian refugee camps are unaccompanied minors. So parents who are sending their kids out of war zones by themselves, essentially, with money, and saying, they have to make this long journey. And the most, I think, same with the Mexican border, right? The biggest journey, the most dangerous part is the coyotes. Especially the children. And like one statistic I heard was 50% men, 50% women, girls, boys, I should say, because they're children, reach the shores and they tally them up. And then when they get to the camps, it's something like 20% are women and 80% are boys.
Shit.
That's just
Yeah.
because of who survives the actual journey.
Well, and people taking them. Turkey had a huge problem with, their donor list, for example, their organ donor list. Once the Syrian refugee crisis happened, it almost became non-existent.
Their donor list, meaning they were just
Taking people and taking their organs.
And you're photographing all of this?
Not that, essentially, but just the people and the children in the refugee camps. And it was more like, I wanted to know what was happening, right? Like, I capture stories, and this was something happening in the backyard of my family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it created, huge turmoil for Greece also, which is also in its own weird political turmoil. But something interesting is they accepted everyone. They don't turn people away.
In Greece.
in Greece.
Really?
Yeah, no, because Greece has a really long history of also being refugees from Turkey, from the Ottoman Empire. Greece has a fascinating history. I was actually talking about it today with someone. Like they weren't a full country as we know them today until 1947.
That's like Dad's ages.
Yeah,
That's not that long ago.
no,
So when you're capturing these photos and you're like, you get it and you maybe feel like, I think I just got one, like I think I just got, and then you look at it, but it's of like this refugee, like, yo, it's heavy.
Well, I always ask, like, especially if I travel to countries with indigenous people. Like, I don't like how some people treat them as a sideshow act, right? Like they're at Disneyland and this is a Disney princess that they're taking a photo of. It's like a niche-y thing they can go back and show their friends. Like something about that's so disingenuous to me. So I always talk to people. You guys know I talk to people a lot, especially in those situations. I always talk and then I ask, do you mind if I take your photo? Or do you mind if I take photos of your children, right? And sometimes people do mind, and that's okay. And sometimes they're say, please take our photos. We really don't mind. So a lot of those photos of the unaccompanied minors, I always ask them. And, it's amazing. A lot of them are happy. A lot of them, like, I wish I had them here to show you. A lot of them are happy.
You photographed all of that stuff for High Times right before you left, and then you went away for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I didn't see you for long enough that your like hair was a totally different length the next time I saw you. I remember being like, oh, Kaitlin left with a bob, and now it's like shoulder length.
Yeah, I was there for it's weird. It's really frustrating when you see suffering and you yourself cannot do anything for it. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard to sit with.
So what do you do to alleviate that for yourself?
Take photos.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's my power. Mm-hmm. That's the power I have. And okay, I haven't really done anything with these photos now, but they're history, right? Like, to me, their history, they'll always live, and one day, like, people will be able to see, like, oh, this is what happened here. And, we have the same thing happening now in our country, is children, unaccompanied minors, being separated from their families and having to exist in a space where they don't know the language, they don't know the culture, they don't know the people, and they're basically in prison.
Yeah. And people aren't seeing it, and then when they are seeing it, they're looking away. Yeah, or desensitizing it. Like I was just in London, and they had a guy with a knife and a fake suicide vest, and a cop shot him. Mm-hmm. And the entire country shut down. They stopped the political campaigns, like everything shut down. And I was there, like, this happens in downtown LA daily.
Yes.
And we're so desensitized to that type of violence now. It's kind of horrifying.
What was London like?
Oh, I love London. London's an amazing place. It reminds me of New York, but hundreds and hundreds of years older, essentially. And everyone speaks like they're in the BBC, and I just die inside a little bit. I know that's horrible to say, but I'm just like, ooh, like you're all in a Jane Austen novel.
I bet they find you so charming that you're so excited about it.
I love it. And I don't know, I really, like, I even had this waitress that was from Surrey, which is where Harry Potter is from, and I freaked out, and she's like, I don't know Harry Potter. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Do you just carry your camera around your neck at all times in case something happens?
I take pictures. It's really annoying to walk in the street with me.
Can we talk about being on the street in LA? You have a billboard up.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You got a billboard.
I do.
A weed billboard. Like that was the
It's the
coolest.
That was okay. So when I moved to LA, I wrote like a checklist. Of course, tour with Lady Gaga is number one. Sure. And then second is billboard. And I did it, and I never thought it would be in the weed space, and I'm really excited and happy that it is.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like, I mean, it's beautiful, first off, but can you tell a little bit about the story of how it came to be?
Yeah. Stone Road, amazing company. I'm really good friends with them. I've done a lot of work for them, and they were looking to do a billboard, and they were really struggling with different photographers and concepts. And I have this beautiful, oh my God, amazing friend, Adriana. And I was like, she smokes weed more than most people I know, so she won't get high during the shoot, right? Like, and she nailed it. I mean, she's a makeup artist, and she really did nail it, and it was really fun. And I just came up with a concept.
Yeah.
And they liked it.
And it's
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it?
So I think there might be one in Santa Monica now, which I haven't seen, but the first one was Beverly and Formosa.
Woo.
That's prime real estate.
Prime real estate. It's really exciting when you make a list of goals and they happen. Like, that to me is the best aspects of life.
That's pretty cool to walk past a billboard in Los Angeles that you shot.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
I'm blushing now.
That's huge. Can we talk a little bit about weed as relating to like your own personal experience with it? And like, because I don't know. I mean, you've traveled so much. Have you encountered cannabis culture everywhere you've gone? I mean, I don't know anything about what the cannabis culture is like in Greece.
Almost non-existent. It exists, but it's like, from mountain men growing in their hideaway mountain on some islands, and then they I don't know how people get it, but I find it, and it takes a whole gram to get me slightly high. But it exists, and people smoke it. It's just what they get is hash. That's really what I think Europe has maybe over us, is they have really good hash. I just smuggled some from London. I can say that now because I'm back in this state where it's legal. But yeah, the hash that's the price. I mean, London has great weed. I think it's just 4 times the price. Mm-hmm. But they get what they can get the weed that we have. It's just 4 times the price.
Can we go back to the rave stuff for a second?
Yeah.
Where was this at? In New York?
New York.
Okay. I have to hear what that scene was like, if you have any stories about it, because I got into the rave scene in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, I want to hear about that.
Okay, so I'll tell you what it was. It was you bring 2 canned goods to the ice rink where they rented it out, and you were just running around the entire ice arena where, like, in the locker rooms would be a bunch of people doing a bunch of drugs. In the bathroom was drugs. They would put mats all over the ice so that you could dance right there. And then, slowly but surely you'd find the right person with Molly, go take Molly in the bathroom, come out and just, like, dance in the middle of an ice rink. And that's what a rave was. I feel like that's not culture. That's just somebody who rented out an ice rink and we did drugs in it. So I have these like romantic notions of what rave culture actually was like, especially in a place like New York.
Can you complete the picture first, though, before Kaitlin says? Just tell us what you were wearing.
Oh, okay, sure thing.
What you were wearing.
Sounds awesome. By the way, Mike, I'm like, you did raving right, like in an ice rink. What?
Okay,
go on.
I don't know.
Right.
So I was wearing big wide leg jeans, like Jinko jeans, some kind of like shirt that was probably. It was either I was heavy into basketball jerseys for a really long time, so I was probably wearing like a basketball jersey. My hair was probably a little blue. I had a goatee that was probably bleach blonde, and I had a tongue ring. And I wanted desperately to be able to glide like Usher, when he does that shit with his feet where it looks like he's floating. And I would just like take a bunch of Molly and work really hard on trying to glide, and I could never do it.
Wow, you had some like gathering vibes.
Gathering vibes, yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, loved ICP those, and yeah. So if anyone out there wants to teach me how to glide like Usher, I still don't want to give up on that.
That's a good dream to have.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good song title, "Glide Like Usher."
yeah,
Right?
it
Like
is.
by, I don't know,
Absolutely.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, "Glide" by Usher by Justin Bieber.
Did I just make his new single?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so fast forward, you guys were probably it's the same period of time, right? Like
Yeah.
mid 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's ice rinks in St. Louis wearing big jeans.
So what does it look like in New York City?
Warehouses and what was once Williamsburg. Fog machines, sweat raining down from ceilings because of bad, ventilation. PBRs and natty ice in a bucket for $1.
Oh,
And
nice.
just like a table like this with a mix board. And they would go all night. And you could find drugs like
So are you just like flying solo, like New York warehouse, and you're like building up this thing where it's like that shoot people, or are you like in the scene and then you were like, I think I'm a photographer and this is like my first spot?
Well, I don't know. It kind of just happened. Like I was in school. I was studying visual art with an emphasis in photography. I knew that was the world I wanted to. Photography world was what I wanted to be, and I didn't know what direction though. And I would just bring my camera and shoot my friends, essentially, right? And then I would shoot shows, and then people were like, "Oh, can I have your photos for my blog? Oh, can I, have your photos for my MySpace or whatever?" Right? It was blogs and MySpace then. And then it got to, I guess my quote unquote big break at the time was I got an internship with the Village Voice, and I pitched them like, "Hey, I go to all these like parties and shows and take photos, like would you want to post them as galleries?" And of course they were like, "Yeah, okay," right? Because it's so in their line of the Village Voice. And then I would use them to get into bigger shows and get better and better access.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Leverage.
And I would say, and then I would send the promoter or the artist or whoever in my photos, be like, "Oh, these are the photos I took of you for the Village Voice. Here's the link. And if you want to hire me, like, now you know what my work is like."
And now you work for a label.
So Night Bass, I work with Night Bass a lot, which is like drum and bass mostly, not really drum and bass, I shouldn't say that, but I guess it comes from that. A lot of that. I'm bad at genres.
Me too.
I shouldn't be talking. They'll get mad at me. But they're an amazing, amazing label with amazing, amazing people. Like I feel, even talking about Grizz and Miguel, and like I just feel so fortunate with the people I've been able to work with. You guys too. The people I've been able to work with have been just good souls and like really about their art and not about the other juju stuff that sometimes artists can be about.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing us up. I was hoping you would compliment us.
Yeah, you guys are the best. I'm so in love with both of you.
I want to ask about like the photos that you've taken that are so iconic of so many people in cannabis culture, like all the people that we've mentioned from, like the musicians, us.
You guys.
I love the picture that you posted of Abdullah recently.
He's
like,
such a gem.
He's great. Like there's so many photos that are just like really, I think, not what so many photos try to do for stoner culture. They're just pictures of these real people in a moment involved with the plant in a really fucking cool way. And I was just thinking, like, if we were to launch like a new magazine or coffee table book where we were all going to collaborate on something, like what would you want that to look like? Who would you want to shoot? How much money will it cost? If investors are listening, get at us.
Yo. Cha-ching!
But like, if you were to do that kind of a project, what would that look like?
Like a smoking photo book?
Yeah, like who would you want to capture out in the world right now as far as cannabis culture and that kind of stuff goes?
You guys.
Probably on the cover.
Yeah, I fished for that one.
Yeah, you guys are the cover.
Who would you photograph if you could photograph anyone in weed?
You guys, you're my favorites.
Well, that's our time.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks so much.
Bill Maher, probably.
Oh, wow.
I love Bill Maher, and I love what an asshole he is. Like, I really admire it, because I can't be the way he is, and I like that. And he's a huge smoker.
Yeah, I mean, he's one
Forever.
of the first people who smoked on network TV, right?
Yeah, which, I mean, and then again with Zach Galifianakis, who's Greek, who I love, too. Mm-hmm. That would be fun. We need more women now. I've said 2 men. I don't know.
Lady Gaga.
Does she smoke weed?
I think
Even if she don't, she'll be in the book.
Rihanna.
There it is.
Hell yes.
She's a big weed smoker that I love and respect.
And I feel like Lady Gaga would have some like special high CBD flower that she would like deign to like bathe in or something.
You're so
a
right.
bath of just
She'd
CBD
be like,
flower.
I'm in a lavender and CBD flower in this bath. You can shoot me.
This is a good coffee table book. It just needs it can't just be like famous people smoking. It has to have like a layer of something to it, something else.
I think the essays that would accompany with
Yeah.
it would have to be, insightful and incisive, and yeah. It would need a really great editor. I'm just putting my name in that.
Oh my God, Mary Jane. Have you pitched this book? Are we basically sitting here?
We're coming up with ideas. I mean, if we're gonna run the world, guys, we have to put it in the air. So
Damn right we do. Oh, you're wearing a Put It in the Air shirt.
yeah. From
How
our
about
time when we all went to Hall of Flowers and like lived in a hotel room like
fun.
otters.
It was so fun.
One of my favorite things about that
It was, but I was so stressed. I just want to apologize on air. I was stressed the whole time.
I was
Don't
so stressed that
apologize.
Are you kidding?
It was a stressful time for Glazed. Anyway, what were you saying about good things?
I was also very stressed, and I apologize too.
Guys, I was not stressed. I was stoned and having a great time. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I was gonna say one of my favorite things about that was like number one, realizing who you can travel with. Like that's just such a spend 7 hours in a car with two people, and you just know what's up. Like, and so the three of us had rolled to Santa Rosa together to do that kind of like wild 2 days. But there was one night in the middle where Mike and I had gone out and you had stayed at the hotel, and we came in super late and woke you up. Mm-hmm. And you just sat up and you were like, oh, they're high and they want to talk. And you just like, we hung for like an hour and a half and we were like, you want to have some chips? And you were like, well, I was asleep, but sure.
Touring.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you're so good at it. I was like, I would have been so mad.
Oh no. I love when people like come into my room and want to talk to me about things and like maybe smoke weed or eat food. Like I also grew up with a really big family, so that's a commonplace situation.
Yeah.
It was great. I polished off a bag of popcorn, like a
Delicious.
whole fucking bag while we all yapped. It was a really nice time.
It was great.
That was such a pleasure.
By the way, I want to put this out there. You're a great packer.
Oh, thank you.
Like
Like a bowl?
yeah.
Or a suitcase? Or both?
Yeah. Oh, why don't they have suitcase-sized bowls? I bet there's a way. You know how you pull out the rolly part? Like the handle of
that's
it?
the bowl.
Right? You could like lift that and that's actually a pipe.
Shark Tank?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, here we come.
I'm looking for 20% equity in this $200,000 something. You lift that part of the suitcase out and it turns into a bowl.
You could do that. That's feasible.
And it's like roll
Like you
roll away.
Rollable?
Smoke out of
Rollable?
one corner and light the other.
Yes, right before you get on the plane.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have a coffee table. We have so much to do.
We've got
We
luggage
do.
to design.
But I just wanted to compliment your packing skills and wonder how conscious you are about that, because touring can be a grind and you either pack too much or you never pack enough. But where's the sweet spot?
Touring is easy because you're not going to you don't need to pack, oh, maybe I'll do something fancy, so I need a fancy outfit, right? Like maybe I might work out. No, so you bring a workout outfit, right? Touring and traveling for work is like, okay, I need a pair of jeans, I need a pair of sweatpants, I need lots of socks, lots of underwear, and wipes.
Boom.
Wipes.
That's it.
Yeah.
What's the wipes?
You never know when you need to clean yourself. And there might not be a shower available.
Seriously, man.
That's what's up.
That's some like Burning Man rules right there.
Yeah.
I used to always travel with wipes.
Yeah.
Wipes are amazing. They're not very environmentally conscious, but
Yeah.
Need
they're
it.
pretty amazing.
Just for the pits and face and hands and butt?
I mean, how great is it to come home and like if there's no shower or you're in a car, right? And you come, whatever you're doing, and you just wipe your face, wipe your feet, wipe your pits, and just like feel kind of just like, oh, okay, some of that grime is off me.
Yeah.
These are good hacks.
Can I also say you're like complimenting on packing? Mike is very particular about packing because I know this because when we went to Alaska together and we spent a month on the road together, Mike was like, what's up with your packing? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, everywhere we go, you unpack everything and like move in, which is true. Like when I get to a hotel room, I put shit in the drawers.
I love that. That's so cute.
And I hang things in the closet and I like unpack all my toiletries on a like washcloth. And Mike was like, I cannot deal with this. What are you doing? It cracked me up.
Because, you just like open the suitcase a corner and you have one corner of dirty stuff and your clean stuff over here. And you just like keep it all in the suitcase everywhere you go.
Yeah, no.
No, we
Not me.
get in there and her shit just explodes.
I love that. Like you need to make the space your own.
Oh, yeah. I fully claim every space.
I like that. That's cute. That's nice.
Can't help myself.
But we're in there for like 6 hours.
Yeah. It's infuriating. I know.
I think I'm in between you two. Like I'll unpack a little. Like I like unpacking my toiletries because then
Yeah.
they're there for you. And I might like unpack my outfit for the next day and my pajamas.
I was fully like unpacking like candles and Palo Santo and like yeah.
Incense burning.
She was building IKEA chairs in every single room. It's insane.
Well, you know, part of it is that I moved out from home when I was 16 years old. And so I've always had to make my home wherever I go, like from a very, very young age. And so I think that's an aspect of me claiming any space that I'm in is that I need to, I'm like a snail with my shell, you know?
Yeah.
My shell is all my stuff.
That's nice though.
Can we talk about the grub aspect of being on tour and just in life and all of these treats that you brought?
Oh, I've been eyeing some of these
I
to
know.
cut open.
I got that sugar cookie with the cherry or
It's
raspberry
for you.
center looks amazing.
I saw that and I thought Mary Jane wants this later.
I do want a heart-shaped sugar cookie full of jam. Thank you. But what's your did you grow up eating Greek food? Was your family sort of like, cooking lots of big meals and stuff?
No, so my mom didn't really. She cooked mostly like regular American, like chicken legs and mashed potatoes and spinach and whatever, lasagna, egg salad. But all my relatives around me always made lots of Greek food, so I grew up with that, like that aspect around me. Not on a day to day, but definitely my aunts and uncles. And now as I get older, look, I'm trying to collect all their recipes. Like, I'm like, okay, can you give me your tzatziki recipe? Like, maybe a guy's coming over. I need to impress him. Like, I can pretend to cook.
I would be blown away. If you made homemade tzatziki, I would be like, yo, what's up?
It's so easy. It's literally yogurt and, like, grated cucumber and garlic. That's it. Done.
When we're talking Mediterranean food, I picture two different camps. I picture naked on a beach eating fish with a squeeze of lemon. And I picture like a tub of hummus and like a loaf of bread, or like, you know what I mean, pita piled high.
They're both true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's Greek food then?
Mediterranean.
Beautiful grilled meats and
A
vegetables.
lot of meats, a lot of vegetables. My mouth is really watering now.
I know.
For what?
Fish.
For what is it watering for? For lamb. Oh my god, lamb with like risotto.
What?
And like a side of tzatziki.
Did you see her fan herself just now? She
Yeah.
like adjusted in her seat.
I mean, I spent a week on Antiparos.
Beautiful.
In 2 years ago, right when we met, when Mike and I had just met.
Yeah, we had a great time, and then you were like, "See you never."
I'm going to Greece. And I came back and I spent just a week eating and
Yeah.
driving around on an ATV and sunning myself. It was
Can I ask you
heaven.
a question that's kind of personal? You don't have to answer.
Yeah, please.
Did you gain weight eating all that food?
No.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Isn't
I
that
lost
amazing?
weight.
Yeah, me too. Every
Because
time
I
I go.
swam every fucking day.
I think the food is so like I once bought bread and put it in the fridge, and then later I came home from like drinking and I was like, oh, this fresh bread, and it was stale. Like it had an 8-hour shelf life of eating. I also love the culture of just sitting and eating and by the beach and like drinking, and it's like you pick, like you don't just sit and have a meal. Like you pick, oh, I'm gonna have a bite of the fish. Oh, I'm gonna have a bite of the pistachio. I'm just gonna have a piece of bread, and you sit and you talk with your friends, and when you enjoy the food. You don't just sit there and stuff your face and then talk. Now I'm so hungry for
I know I want to
it.
go back to Greece.
Summer is coming.
Okay, good.
Summer is coming. But yeah, they have, like I had a friend from Greece, actually, an amazing woman, my friend Olga. She teaches photography to the kids in the refugee camps. And they took their photos and did a traveling show around the world. And so she came to LA. And it was just so amazing having her. It was her second time in the United States, first time in LA. And she was like, Kaitlin, what is vegan? I don't understand what this is vegan. I was like, okay, let me explain. It's like people who don't eat animal products. And she's like, even milk? Even butter? And I'm like, yeah, even milk, even butter. And then she's like, okay, so what is organic? And I'm like, organic is basically all the food you eat in Greece, but like our food is so fucked up, we have to put in a label on that it has no chemicals and it's fresh. And she was like, your food has chemicals and it's not fresh? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the standard, actually. It's the fancy stuff is just fresh.
Yeah.
Off the vine with no chemicals and no GMOs and whatever. And it was like really a hard concept for her to understand that like we have a special label for food that's just supposed to be eaten normally without being messed with. It was funny to see her experience our culture.
You just fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
Damn.
mind fuck.
Damn.
That's what should actually just be available all the time.
Yeah.
$8 for that tomato that they just put in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you taste it and there's no like, if when you go overseas and you eat a tomato, like I always have this like euphoric orgasmic experience. And I'm like, oh, this is a tomato.
My dad, who grew up in mostly in the UK and Ireland, would forage for berries all the time. And he always taught me to like, go and look for like wild blackberries or any of that kind of thing. And, he was like, you've never tasted a strawberry until you've had one wild. And like just those like wild things that actually just grow in nature are so fucking incredible. I was living in Seattle one time and I went out blackberry picking like on the street that I lived on. And I came home with this huge bucket full of beautiful, giant, fat blackberries. And my roommates were like, those are like, $6.99 a pound at Whole Foods right now. I was like, they also grow at the end of your driveway. That is the reality. If you just look.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
We don't know how to look
And
in this country.
Food culture here is really strange. Like it's strange to everyone on the outside,
Yeah.
right? Like they all come and they're like, what?
Yeah.
What
What do you mean you buy mushrooms? We just pick them.
Or what is organic? I'll never forget. What is organic? Like, what is it's just different cultures are interesting. And I think we have, like, the fact that you two, Mike, can go to a place like Greece and just stuff our faces with cheese and meat and bread and oil daily, like 4 times a day throughout the day and lose weight is like, it's really a telling sign of what's happening to our food.
Yeah.
Too many apples at the grocery store.
Yeah.
We don't need that many apples.
So you don't like the selection of apples that's available? It's too
Who's
wide?
buying all those apples?
What kind of apple do you want?
2. I just need 2 choices. One sweet, one sour.
Red, green.
Red, green. That's it. I don't need a whole section of apples that is never, like, it never looks empty because nobody's buying them. What are we doing?
Well, and they throw a lot of food
throw it
out.
all away.
And also, like, if you had an oblong apple, he gets chucked before he even gets into the bucket.
Well, to be fair, he's gruesome looking. What an ugly piece of shit. That
but
apple.
It's crazy to think,
It
like,
is.
you could have, like, a weird deformed carrot and they chuck, like, no one's going to buy this. I would eat the deformed carrot.
There's a produce box that you can buy, I think, that's called, like, ugly
Vegetables.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That also costs, like, $29.99.
Are they your sponsor?
Yeah. 5% of all proceeds go.
Hit us up.
What are you into right now?
Food-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So I'm a really bad cook, but I'm really good at inventing things. And so what I'm really into now...
Are you high when you do this?
I'm a really good high cooker because I've done it all, right? Like you go in the fridge, like, what do I have? But this is the new thing I invented that is so good. I've been eating it regularly. Okay, you take a pot. You need Trader Joe's for this. So if you don't live near Trader Joe's, I'm so sorry. You can improvise. You take beef bone broth, pour it into the pot. Then I chop up a bunch of onions and spinach and whatever vegetables I have that might be going bad and I need to get rid of. And I put them in the broth and I boil them. So like a vegetable soup. Then at the end, you take Trader Joe's vegan dumplings and you put in like 4 or 6, however you want. And then you just do it so they get like, unfrozen and warm. And then you have a vegetable dumpling soup. And it's still, garlic and ginger is key because beef broth is really bland. So you need like a lot of ginger and a lot of garlic to make it tasty, and salt and pepper. That's
This sounds like something that you could live on.
I basically have been living on it. It's so good.
Like, put it in a pint glass.
Yeah, right? And
Yeah.
then like the soup dumpling,
Yeah.
it's really good. You can put hot sauce too if you like are into hot sauce. Or one time I hard-boiled an egg and did like...
Oh, like a kind of like a ramen-y?
Yeah, like I made it a little ramen-y. Like you can do so much stuff.
Yeah.
Different tastes.
I love a soup. I love a
too.
soup. Mike.
I'm coming around. I'm coming around.
Anti-soup over there.
Are you an anti-souper?
I am an anti-super, but I'm coming around the more I'm like trying homemade soups That's what's changing the game for me. Like, I never trust a Campbell's. I never trust, like, a soup of the day. I'm never going to get that shit at a restaurant. But a homemade soup
It's so good.
is pretty terrific.
You can make homemade chicken soup pretty easy, too. You just get, like, chicken stock or chicken broth, carrots, celery, some pasta, and chicken that you buy made already.
More like soup people, huh?
Soup people.
I love soup. And chili, too, is really fun.
I have a secret.
Yeah.
I have. Okay, what is today? Today is Friday?
Yeah.
I was given the carcasses of the birds from the feast to make the soup. And I came home and I put the carcasses in my big pot and I boiled it up and I made a beautiful stock. And then I pulled out the bones and I put the bones in the fridge and I've been feeding my animals little snacks off the bones. But that broth is currently sitting outside on my patio. I am so scared of it. I don't know what to do.
The lid's rattling.
Yeah, because I left it out there because I thought it was cold enough that it would be able to, like, the world would function as a refrigerator as it does where I'm from. But it's LA. Even though it's fucking December, it's still like 65 during the day. So that shit has been going up to like 65 and then down to like 40 at night. It's been there a week. I don't know what to do, guys.
Have you looked inside?
No, I'm too scared. We could all go and look at it together afterwards.
Okay, I'm curious
I
to
would
know
like
what's
to
happening.
see that.
It's going to be like Toxic Swamp Monster. No, I actually don't want you to look at it because I think it's going to be really scary and gross and bad.
What if it's just fine? Would that be scarier?
Ugh.
There's no way it's fine.
It's not fine.
That's not
I'm like,
fine.
I'll
not
take it
fine.
home.
It's a week, and I was so proud of myself because I was like, I made this huge pot of stock and it's going to be so good. And then I just thought that I would get to it, and I haven't. And now it's a secret.
Oh, it's a swamp monster.
Can we feed it to the plants?
I don't think I would feed it to anyone. It might.
Why
yeah.
not? Maybe it's a superfood for
Down the
them now.
toilet?
Yeah, maybe there's gonna down the toilet. Well, I was thinking like, can I fit it into the freezer so I can just freeze it with the lid on and then dump it out as a solid and then never have to smell it or deal with it? But my fridge isn't big enough for the pot.
I mean, can we just throw it down the drain?
Ugh.
Is that so environmentally
What if we
friendly?
heat it up beyond anything being able
just
to
boil
live
it
and
out?
just boil
Nuclear
the shit out of it?
Thermonuclear stock.
Yeah,
and then throw it out.
Or eat it because all the germs will die because it's like a 500-degree boil.
This is the last podcast we ever record. It's our swan song. They all died.
Took a thimble of soup stock.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's definitely furry in there.
Yeah, I'm
It's
scared.
got to be furry under the lid.
I
Yeah.
am proud of you for making it.
Thanks. I wish I'd done something with it, and I'm sorry that I didn't.
You did. A science experiment.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm usually better. I fucked up. Where can people find you, Kaitlin?
So I guess Instagram is my thing. I love Instagram. And it's just at shootpeople_. And then you can always contact me also through my website or check out my work on my website, which is just KaitlinParry.com.
Sweet.
Should I spell it?
Sure.
Is that a thing people do?
Yeah. Well, wait. Can I try?
Yeah.
KaitlinParry.com.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
Heck yes. Thank you for being here.
This was the most fun I've had in a long time, so thanks, guys.
This feels like a very cool moment to have. Like, you were one of the first people I met in LA. You know, we met
You
before
too.
I lived here.
You too.
Yeah.
Look, I met you right when I moved here, and you were one of my first like new LA jobs, not like New York client jobs.
This feels really neat.
Don't look at me.
I don't know.
Let's wrap it up. Mary
Yeah.
Jane, where can everyone find us?
At Weed and Grub on Instagram and weedandgrub.com on the internet. And if you want to email us any questions or comments or letters about weird science experiments that you may or may not have going on, it's weedandgrub@gmail.com.
And leave us a 5-star review.
Yep.
Click that 5th star on iTunes and leave us a review if you have the time because it goes a really long way.
Sure does.
Yo, can we eat these pies?
Let's eat these pies.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.